Alright folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join me exploring some World War Two history. And we're here in Angus, Scotland at the World War Two Kinnell airfield. Just thinking I'll zip up my pockets there so I don't lose my car key. In the last video we explored this old control tower, and on this episode we're away to explore this, whatever this building is, see what they've done with it. I think maybe it's been an electrical substation. I thought it may be an air raid shelter in the last video. The reason I think it may be an electrical substation is because look how they've made the wall. This could be a sign that, whoa, look what I just about walked into, folks. Does that come out on the camera? That spider there is massive. That's horrible. But yeah, the reason I think it's maybe a substation is because the glass is into the top of the wall there, and that would be to stop people getting in, obviously, because they wouldn't want anyone to electrocute themselves. I'm hoping I can get round so this spider is nowhere near me. Like, these thistles are just a nightmare. Right, let's go and take a look at this, folks. This is crazy. I don't even know what this is, but I'm thinking it must be a World War Two substation. I'm not going to touch nothing, or I'm going to try and not get electrocuted. Look at this old metal door. That may have come off that thingy. Oh, there's the railing as well from the building that we saw in the last video. Whoa! The spider there is just massive. I need to get here. We're getting covered in spiders, folks. This is intense. I just want to take a peek around the corner here without getting covered in spiders. Oh, aye. Look at this. This must have been a substation of some sort. I just wanted to come in here and document it. For sure, this place is like massive spider, like central, folks. It's massive spider central in here. So if they've had a big substation like this, that's a sign that maybe perhaps there was a massive mast here. Airfields also needed a lot of power to power like the runway lights and all the other airfield set up. This is crazy, folks. I'm literally weaving my way through these spider infested bushes, which we didn't see any of in the last video. This is crazy. See, there is another building here, folks, but I think that's like pre-war, or it's just like an old bit of rubble from a shed maybe at one time. Yeah, that was cool though, just to see what was in that enclosure, because sometimes you would think, what is that? Forever. So I think like that's about all the World War Two bits at this corner of the airfield here. It's been so cool just to check it out. In the last video we were in this building here, which is like what must be the control kind of room for the old airfield. The control building, air traffic control, whatever you call it. It would have been connected by radio to the rest of the airfield, but also probably like to the rest of the country as well, the rest of Great Britain. Everything would have been connected by radio to places like this. And then that's, most of the time, that's how they needed their own like substation and that. Like what we just saw. And yeah, I'm wondering like if there has been a mast on top of there, or it just lights. In the last video when we were on top of there having a look, if you've not seen that, go back and have a look at it. But I noticed there was like funny like metal, what I thought was lights, and I'm just noticing there's more of them up there at this corner. Pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy bit of history, folks. World War Two history, like right here in Angus today. It's like mind blowing. Anyway, let's try and get through this spider infested grass. Sometimes like in World War Two and back at times like that, they tried to disguise certain buildings in that airfields as just being like a farm or whatever, so if the Germans did fly over they wouldn't know exactly what was going on and where. Look at these massive cement beams. Wonder if that's been something World War Two related for a mast, or it could just be anything. It might be like war related. I think all over this site, like between the fields and that, there's probably hundreds of little just like hidden nuggets of history from a bygone era. And probably like once the summer's passed in a few months, it might be even easier to see all that stuff, because just now everything's so overgrown with like the long grass. It's crazy. Look at this, folks. Imagine this in the war. Like, this would have been probably a busy-ish kind of airport with, well, airfield with planes sitting all around, and the military would have been doing operations, I'm sure, defensive operations, and flying planes in and out regularly. Look, here's a massive, what's been a gate post or something at one time. Metal gate post. Yeah, this is the opposite side to where I was a minute ago. It's quite an interesting site, really. I think most things at this site though look to me like they've been bulldozed, just been flattened at the end of the war. That often happened with historical stuff like this, because they were reclaiming their farmland, and instead of having an obsolete cement structure, a lot of the time it's got no historical value to like the landowner. If they can make money off that land a different way, they'll just flatten it and bulldoze it, which, yeah, it's a shame for history, folks, but it's just how it works. I was just walking a bit further down here because I noticed this massive cement block, and I can actually see there's houses over there, and that must be the back of Freecombe. That's how close we are to, like, the nearest town is pretty near to this. I'm thinking in the war, so these houses probably weren't there, and the village of Freecombe was further away. This is a massive cement block here. I'm not sure what it's been, but I'm thinking it looks like a cement base here for something. Look at that, big stones like that were moved often from other parts of the airfield. Look at that, it's been like some sort of mast. It's been a bracket for either a mast or a gate or something like that. That is crazy though, that massive chunk is like a bit of World War Two history, folks. It's pretty mental. It's a big chunk of cement, like, must have been a gate, I'm thinking. Yeah, so I'm thinking this is still the airfield that I'm in right now. I'm just going to take a little, whoa, there's beasties totally fleeing into my face. That's Scotland in the summer, folks. Beasties fleeing everywhere. But I'm just curious to see what's at the end of these bushes here, and then I'll turn back around. It's cool just to explore a new little bit of land and just record a wee bit of history if there is any. There's massive cement beams, which must have been like power, like poles, electrical cable poles, or maybe poles at one time for the runway lights. That's what they may have been, because it's big cement like posts with a bar across, as if there's been something mounted on it. Look at this, folks. Here's another pile of World War Two history, which must have been bulldozed or dug up around here. Back in the war, or at the end of the war, there would have just been literally like hundreds of little buildings around here. Each one of them would have had their own little purpose. Yeah, I think the farmer must use this area now as like a bit of a farmyard. So I can see tatty sheds and bales. But I think maybe at one time this area here would have been more RAF instead of farming, like, for sure. So we're heading back along the path now, And it has been cool to see the one or two little things that we've seen today on this. I might continue the video, I'm just thinking I'll take my car further down there, see if there's anything else, which is pretty cool, because the main road just goes right down the other side of this field. There is areas here like there might have been buildings. I'm not sure if there had been a big gate at this spot with that pillar, or maybe that pillar could have been brought from anywhere on the airfield. But I'm not sure how far out that way the airfield went. I'm pretty sure there is like cement features and that at the other side, as if there's been hangars and stuff, so I'm pretty sure it went over this whole area here. And yeah, it's quite a big area. So all the way up the side of these paths is just rubble and stones and bits of cement, and I think all that must have been from buildings that was around here and different World War Two features, which just appear now to have just been bulldozed and flattened. Even this massive mound here at the side, and I think at one time there's been something here, whereas now it's probably just a big chunk of rubble. Is that runway lights, folks? Who knows? See this metal bar here? It's connected on the top of that big pole there. The angle of the sun's not too good for seeing that. It's maybe either been cables or runway lights. But these cement poles are just absolutely massive. And look, they've got this detail about them where they've got the hollowed out bit for strength there. It's pretty crazy. Right folks, we're now away from the World War Two history time frame. I went down the road and I went back and I couldn't see anything else that was like super interesting. There is cement bases and that where maybe there had been hangars and sheds and stuff, but there was no cool buildings and that, so I thought I would stop here, which is a bit of old railway history. Look at this. It's an old, I think there used to be an old rail line at the bottom of this hill here, but now the field here has been filled in, so you can't even tell. Similar to what we saw last week in the Kinnell railway video, the ground's been reclaimed, and then once you can see those bushes at the other side, that's where it's like a 15 to 20 foot deep hollow where at one time the trains would have run. Yeah, it's a cool little brig, a little train bridge, and still the main road goes over the top of this to this day. Even though there's no trains going underneath it, they've still kept like the bridge over the land, which is quite interesting. And today was the first time I had come up this road, so it was like brand new bridge, folks. Check this out down this side. Imagine the trains coming along here. Crazy, like this bridge just remains. You would think by now they would have like just filled the ground in and done away with it, but see, when the Victorians built these bridges, it was like they built them to last forever. And then they were just done away with at one point in time because they thought it would save money. But now there's so much stuff taken everywhere with lorries, they could have saved all that with like one train. You could have 10 lorry loads or more on it. Yeah, it's incredible. Look at the stonework and that there. So cool, folks. I've just noticed I might be able to climb down and go underneath it. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's have a proper look at this bridge. So this has been fun today because World War Two is some of my favourite, and also the railway history is some of my favourite. This is certainly a lot more overgrown here than what it looked when I was up there on the bridge. This is a cool view of the bridge though. It's cool to get a new aspect on a different bit of land. Oh, I've just noticed this is quite a cool bridge too. I really want to go down and have a look, but there's so many wasps on these bushes here. I just didn't want anything to do with wasps. But wasps love these bushes, folks. I'm in a dilemma. Right, I'm going for it. We're getting the footage, folks. There's wasps here and I'm just pushing through, and it's crazy because I've got a wasp phobia because I've been severely stung before when I stood on a wasp bite. I was absolutely peppered with wasp stings, folks. But look at this, it's been worth it. Because look at the stonework on this bridge, folks. This is incredible. The amount of spider webs and stuff which are just like in all the grass, it's just, look at that, is that blackberries or something like that? I'm not even sure. Some sort of berry anyway. Check this bridge out, this is something else like. I always say each one of these bridges is unique to the land that they're sitting in, so they can obviously like fit into the terrain. And this bridge is also unique in like how it's made underneath, because look at the stonework. I've never seen a bridge like this before. It's obviously had some serious renovation and repairs with the cement, but like there's some like original stones. Like most of these sandstones will be the original stones. Wow, this is incredible. Like, I'm not sure how much of this bridge has been taken out or how it looked originally. So interesting. I'm so glad that I came for a look at this, because I've never ever seen a rail bridge like this. And we explore so much like railway history. Here, I'll tell you something, folks. There's some sort of strange spider living down, because I just saw one popping away in one of these holes. And all around here there's hundreds of these spider holes. Any railway enthusiast, look, here's the name of this bridge. It'll still be maintained to this day by like the British Rail Authority, I think, still tends to the bridges even though they're not used for trains nowadays. Look at this here too, you can see where the train tracks led away round into that like rough scrub area there. And then you can see how high it's been filled in, the field height up there. Such a difference. Anyway, I'm going to get a couple of pictures of this, folks, and then I'll update you. So look at this interesting feature here, folks. There's these square holes cut out in the wall here, and I'm sure I saw them on another bridge, a similar thing, and I'm really not sure what they were for originally. Yeah, it's so cool to explore a new bit of history like this. And who would have even known here at Kinnell, like you could see so much abandoned history, just one little corner of Angus. And like I think this train line here, judging by the width of this bridge here, look at that. Like I think it's been two train tracks wide, like it's been a double line as you would say. Whereas some of the bridges around Angus and that, they're a single line. Like the viaduct that we saw on the Montrose video last week. There would have been a single branch line going up to St Cyrus and that on there. These pigeons, they're just flying out. Keep giving me the fright of my life, folks. Anyway, yeah. Cool bit of Angus history, folks, documented. Oh look, there's the same square cutouts as at this side as well. I wonder what that has been. I wonder if it's been for some sort of like platform when they were building the brickwork. And look at that side, they don't have it. There's no cutouts at that side, so yeah, it is interesting. I'll have to go and climb my way back out through these brambles, whatever they are. Like, there's just so much different bushes and stuff growing at this time of year. Look, here's a different type of berries. Obviously the birds didn't eat this type, whatever they are, because this tree's just hanging with them. Yeah, look at that, there's just tons of these ones as well, like we saw when we walked in here. Anyway folks, let's push on up this path. Through the wasp infested bushes. Look at that for an angle. I should actually take a picture of this for here. So that's been so cool. It just shows you folks, it's not often until you go out and start looking around that you can have the coolest adventures once you start to find stuff. Because I had no idea this stuff was here. Even on YouTube and stuff. I've never seen like that Kinnell, like airfield that we saw at the start of this video. And that's another little bridge there documented. If one day it gets wiped out by like an Arctic lorry or something. Now we see how cool it did look. I can see the boys busy sowing his seeds over here. Looks like he's got a John Deere. I think he's actually got the Cambridge rollers on the back. But yeah, you can, don't know if it comes out on the camera, the sound of farming, folks. The weather we've had this year, everybody's just getting on so well. We can see this field here starting to grow already. There's a lot of fields just getting going, folks. It's very rare in Scotland that it's no like raining and stuff when they're trying to get their combining done. This year it's just gone smoothly, like so. Right folks, I'll end this video here. That's me back at my car. It's been so cool to explore that World War Two history, a little bit of railway history there. And yeah, I'll be back in the next adventure very soon. So thanks a lot for watching. See you later.